Never do this at a cruise ship pool, unless you want the staff to call you out in front of everyone, your fellow passengers to glare at you, and your relaxing vacation to turn into an embarrassing memory you'll never live down. One wrong move, like sitting too long in a reserved chair or diving headfirst into a shallow pool, and suddenly you're the one everyone's whispering about. These aren't just minor infractions either. Some of these rule breaks could get you kicked out of the pool, fined by the crew, or even have the entire pool closed down for hours. All because someone thought the rules didn't apply to them. Ready to avoid disaster? Here's the truth most passengers don't realize. Cruise ship pools aren't like your neighborhood pool or a resort on land. At sea, everything is tighter, from hygiene standards to lifeguard supervision to space itself. That means the rules are stricter, the consequences hit harder, and the crew has zero tolerance for people who think they're above the system. So if you want to enjoy the pool without stress, side eyes, or accidental rule breaking that leaves you banned from the deck, this video is your life vest. We're counting down 11 cruise ship pool rules most passengers break without realizing it. And we're not just talking about the obvious stuff, from hidden towel traps to a diaper mistake that could shut down the whole pool, to unspoken etiquette that can spark real tension between guests. We're exposing the unfiltered truth about what not to do. These are the rules the crew won't remind you of until it's too late. And knowing them could mean the difference between a perfect day at sea and a poolside disaster. Let's dive in. You've probably seen it before, or maybe even done it yourself. Someone wakes up at 6 a.m., walks to the pool deck in a robe, tosses a towel and a paperback on a lounge chair, then disappears for the next 5 hours. By 10 a.m., that chair is still empty, but now angry passengers are pacing the deck, looking for a place to sit. Tensions build, and finally someone snaps. A woman asks the pool attendant why half the chairs are taken by ghosts. Another guy moves the reserved towel, and suddenly a shouting match breaks out, all before lunch. Here's the deal. Most cruise lines do not allow saving chairs for more than 30 minutes. They even have signs posted, announcements over the intercom, and some ships have actual crew members patrolling to enforce this. If your stuff is sitting on a chair without you for too long, it's fair game for removal. And yes, people will move your things, politely if you're lucky, but rudely if you're not. The worst part? You could return hours later to find your personal belongings gone, soaked, or dumped in the lost and found. To avoid all of that, the fix is simple. Only claim a chair if you're going to use it. If you need to leave, make sure it's no longer than 30 minutes, and ideally let someone you're traveling with stay behind. Otherwise, expect someone to take your spot, and they won't feel bad about it. And this is just the beginning. Because even if you play fair with the chairs, there's another hygiene mistake that could ruin everyone's swim. And it starts before your toes even touch the water. It seems harmless enough. You've just spent the morning soaking up the sun, maybe grabbed a snack or a quick workout, and now you're heading straight for that crystal clear cruise pool. But here's the part most people miss. Every time someone jumps in without rinsing off first, they bring a cocktail of sweat, sunscreen, oils, and bacteria with them, and it doesn't just disappear. On one cruise, the pool had to be completely shut down for 24 hours because bacterial levels spiked from too many people skipping the shower. One guy even bragged, "It's just pool water. It cleans itself." Minutes later, the crew was putting up signs and draining the pool. That brag didn't age well. The consequences go far beyond a dirty pool. When contaminants like body oils and sunblock build up, the filtration system gets overwhelmed. That forces the crew to do what's called a chlorine shock, basically dousing the water with chemicals so strong that no one can swim for an entire day. So not only are you affecting the water quality, you're robbing everyone else of their chance to enjoy the pool. And guess who gets the blame? The people who didn't rinse off. Thankfully, avoiding this mistake is laughably easy. Near every cruise pool, there's a quick rinse station or shower pole. It takes 15 seconds to step under it, rinse the sweat and lotion off, and be on your way. That small gesture can literally save the pool from being closed, and it'll keep the crew from side-eyeing you when the water turns cloudy. And if you thought that was gross, wait until you hear what happens when someone decides to bring food or drinks into the pool itself. It's not just rude, it's a violation. Picture this. A woman is lounging in the shallow end with a frozen margarita in one hand and a plate of nachos balanced on a float beside her. Everyone nearby is trying to swim around her carefully, dodging tortilla chips floating toward the filters. Then a kid cannonballs in from the side, splashes her drink into the pool, and just like that, there's alcohol in the water and salsa on the deck. 10 minutes later, a crew member walks over and the party's over. They shut down that side of the pool to clean it, and now half the guests are grumbling, staring, and filming on their phones. Cruise ship pools operate under strict hygiene codes, and this is one of the most consistently broken rules. No food or drink inside the pool. It doesn't matter if it's just one sip or a quick bite. Once food or alcohol gets into that water, it turns into a contamination risk. Oils, sugars, and alcohols mess with the pool's chemical balance, and even crumbs or bits of fruit can clog drains or attract bugs. In many cases, if something spills directly into the water, the pool has to be partially drained or hit with extra treatment. That means hours of downtime and dozens of unhappy passengers. The fix here is easy. Eat and drink next to the pool, not in it. Cruise ships offer plenty of tables, lounge areas, and sidebars designed for that exact purpose. Some even provide cup holders built right into the poolside railing. But once you step into the water, your hands should be empty. And speaking of what not to bring into the pool, the next mistake could get you asked to leave immediately, even if you're just trying to cover up. A guy walks onto the pool deck wearing a loose t-shirt, basketball shorts, and a backwards cap. He slides into the water without thinking twice, but within minutes, a pool attendant taps him on the shoulder and asks him to step out. Confused, he looks around, shrugs, and gets out. What just happened? He didn't do anything wrong, right? Actually, he broke one of the most overlooked but important pool rules on a cruise ship: improper swimwear. Most cruise lines do not allow cotton clothing in the pool, and for good reason. Cotton sheds fibers that clog the pool's filtration system, making it harder for the crew to maintain water quality. It also holds on to bacteria and chemicals, meaning you're not just dirtying the pool, you're dragging in whatever your clothes picked up earlier in the day. That's not just gross, it's a genuine health concern. The rules are there to protect everyone, and crew members are trained to enforce them strictly, even if the guest had no idea. The solution? Always wear proper swimwear made from spandex, lycra, or nylon. These materials are designed for pool use. They don't shed, they dry fast, and they don't mess with the pool systems. If you prefer covering up for sun protection or modesty, bring a swim shirt or rash guard. And if you're tempted to swim in your gym shorts or sleepwear, just don't. You could be asked to leave the pool, or worse, denied re-entry for the rest of the day. Now that rule is about fabric, but the next one is about responsibility, because letting your kids swim unsupervised might seem harmless until something goes seriously wrong. It's a sunny afternoon and the pool is packed. Parents are sunbathing, sipping cocktails, chatting with new friends. And meanwhile, two young kids are in the deep end, splashing wildly and chasing each other. Suddenly, one of them slips, goes under, and struggles to resurface. For a moment, no one notices. Then a stranger jumps in and pulls the kid up, coughing and terrified. The parents? Nowhere to be seen. A few minutes later, crew members arrive, and the tone shifts instantly. This isn't just a near miss. This is a violation of cruise policy. Here's what most people don't realize. Unlike your local pool, cruise ship pools often do not have lifeguards on duty, especially on adult-oriented lines. That means supervision is entirely the responsibility of parents or guardians. Leaving your child to swim alone, even for just a few minutes, is not only dangerous, it could get you into serious trouble. If something goes wrong, you could be held accountable, and in extreme cases, even face consequences from onboard security. Cruise lines are crystal clear on this. Children under a certain age must be actively supervised at all times, no exceptions. That includes when they're in the pool, near the edge, or even just playing with toys in the water. And don't assume that standing nearby counts. Staff are trained to look for active supervision, not passive presence. The best fix? Take turns. If you're traveling with other adults, rotate poolside supervision duties. You relax while they watch, then switch, or better yet, take advantage of the ship's supervised kids clubs for breaks. Because the next mistake? It happens during the quietest hours of the morning and could literally burn your skin before the pool even opens. It's early morning on the cruise deck. The sun's just rising, the pool is still, and the cleaning crew has just finished pouring in chemicals to sanitize the water. A man, eager to beat the crowds, stretches, drops his towel, and dives in. Within minutes, he's coughing, rubbing his eyes, and climbing out with red, irritated skin. What he didn't realize is that he just swam through a fresh wave of chlorine shock, and now he's headed straight for the medical center. Most passengers assume the pool is fair game the moment they see water, but cruise pools go through scheduled cleaning cycles, often overnight or in the early morning, where powerful chemical treatments are added to kill bacteria and reset the water quality. During this time, the chlorine levels can be up to 10 times higher than safe swimming conditions. That means your skin, eyes, and lungs can all take a hit if you jump in too soon. Some guests even ignore the posted signs or step around barriers because the pool looks fine. But looks can be deceiving. Chlorine mist in the air, Unseen chemical concentrations and ongoing maintenance make it genuinely unsafe to swim and can lead to immediate irritation or even allergic reactions. Crew members are trained to stop guests from entering during this window, but if you sneak in early or ignore warnings, they won't hesitate to ask you to leave or report the violation. Here's the fix. Check the daily newsletter or ask a crew member about pool hours and cleaning times. Most ships are very transparent about when pools reopen after treatment. Wait until you're cleared. Your body will thank you. And speaking of your body, what happens when you swallow even a tiny bit of that pool water? The next mistake might surprise you. It sounds innocent enough. A kid splashing in the pool, laughing, dunking underwater, having fun. Then it happens. He comes up coughing, holding his stomach, and says, "I swallowed some." His parents brush it off, thinking it's no big deal. But by dinner, the child is pale, nauseous, and unable to eat. By midnight, they're in the ship's medical center, missing the excursion they booked for the next morning. And all because of a single mouthful of pool water. Here's the harsh truth. Cruise ship pool water is not meant to be ingested. Not even a little bit. While it's treated with chlorine, that doesn't make it clean. These pools are shared by hundreds, sometimes thousands of people throughout the day. That means microscopic contaminants, trace bacteria, and yes, even bodily fluids end up circulating in the water. When you swallow it, especially repeatedly, you're risking more than just a funny taste. You're risking stomach bugs, skin reactions, and gastrointestinal distress that could knock you out for days. This is especially dangerous for children, who tend to be more careless while playing and more vulnerable to infection. But adults aren't immune either. All it takes is one poorly timed cannonball or an underwater sip while swimming, and you're at risk. The fix is simple but essential. Remind your kids and yourself to never open their mouth underwater and avoid dunking faces or heads unless absolutely necessary. Cruise ships often have kiddie splash zones or misting areas that are safer for younger children who can't help but put things in their mouths. Now, accidentally drinking the pool water is bad, but not drinking enough water while you're out there in the heat, that's a whole different kind of problem, and it creeps up fast. It's 2 p.m., the sun is blazing, the steel deck is hot enough to fry an egg, and you've been poolside for 3 hours. You've had 2 pina coladas, a frozen daiquiri, and a mimosa because, hey, you're on vacation. But here's what you haven't had. A single glass of water. A few loungers away, an older man stands up, stumbles slightly, then collapses near the hot tub. Panic sets in. A call goes out to the crew. He's conscious but dizzy, overheated, and completely dehydrated. And just like that, his relaxing afternoon turns into a full-blown medical emergency. Most people forget that sun, salt air, and alcohol are a dangerous combination when it comes to dehydration. Cruise ships are often sailing through tropical climates, and lounging poolside feels easy until your body hits its limit. When you're exposed to direct sunlight for hours and you're sipping cocktails instead of water, you're sweating out fluids faster than you realize. Symptoms like dizziness, dry mouth, fatigue, and headaches are your body's early warning signs. Ignore them, and you could find yourself spending the rest of your day hooked up to IV fluids in the ship's infirmary, missing dinner, missing the show, and feeling miserable. The fix is straightforward but crucial. For every alcoholic drink you consume, follow it with at least 1 full glass of water. Don't wait until you feel thirsty. By then, it's already too late. Carry a refillable bottle with you and take regular sips even if you're just lounging in the shade. Hydration isn't just about comfort, it's your body's way of surviving the heat at sea. And while keeping yourself hydrated protects your body, the next mistake is about protecting your valuables. Because what happens when your electronics meet an unexpected splash? You're not going to like the ending. She was live streaming the ocean view from her poolside lounge chair, phone angled perfectly, sun setting behind her. Everything was Instagram ready. A kid sprinted by, launched into the air, and cannonballed directly into the pool. A giant splash sprayed across the deck and straight onto her phone. In less than a second, the screen glitched, went black, and never turned on again. Her vacation memories, gone. Her digital wallet, unreachable. And that stunning sunset shot, never posted. The look on her face said it all. Sheer panic, followed by deep regret. Bringing your phone, tablet, or e-reader poolside isn't unusual. We all do it. But cruise ship pools are unpredictable. One splash, one drink spill, or one quick drizzle from overhead can turn your favorite gadget into a paperweight. And unlike beach resorts, cruise pools have tighter quarters. People are walking past constantly, kids are playing, and waves from movement make splash damage a constant threat. Crew members won't reimburse you, and guest services won't be able to revive your fried device. Once it's soaked, it's game over. So how do you protect yourself? Use waterproof cases or pouches. They're cheap, widely available on board and online, and they make a huge difference. Better yet, keep your valuables in your cabin safe if you're not actively using them. Need your phone for pictures? Great. Take it out, snap the shot, then tuck it safely away in a sealed bag. That one habit could save your device and your sanity. It happens on almost every cruise. A parent, well-meaning and excited to see their child enjoy the vacation, gently sets their toddler into the main pool. The little one is wearing a colorful swim diaper, maybe holding a rubber duck or kicking their tiny feet in the shallow end. They splash, laugh, and squeal with joy as other guests smile and look on, until about 30 minutes later, when the entire atmosphere shifts. A crew member blows a whistle, signs are put up, and just like that, the pool is shut down. The reason? A bio-incident. That's cruise ship speak for an accident in the water. Someone's child, maybe even that same smiling toddler, had a bathroom emergency. And now the fun is over, not just for the family, but for everyone. Here's what many parents don't realize. Even swim diapers are not leak-proof. In fact, cruise lines treat them the same as regular diapers, because when they're submerged in water, they can't reliably contain waste. That means even a small leak, invisible to the eye, can contaminate thousands of gallons of shared pool water. And cruise ships are required by maritime health codes to take immediate action. Once a bio-incident occurs, the pool must be cleared, the water chemically shocked, the filtration systems flushed, and the pool must remain closed for several hours, sometimes longer. Imagine hundreds of frustrated passengers in bathing suits, ready for a swim, staring at a roped-off pool and knowing exactly who triggered the shutdown. It's not about shame, it's about safety. Cruise pools are shared environments with limited space and heavy use. The risk of bacteria or viruses spreading from a contaminated pool is serious, and no cruise line is willing to gamble with passenger health. That's why the rules are strict. No babies or toddlers allowed in the main pools or hot tubs unless they are fully potty trained. But that doesn't mean your child has to miss out on water fun. Many modern cruise ships are equipped with splash zones or interactive water playgrounds specifically designed for younger children. These areas have different cleaning protocols, more frequent maintenance, and are built for safe toddler use, meaning fewer restrictions and less risk. You'll still need to supervise your little one closely, of course, but you won't have to worry about violating pool policies or triggering a shutdown. So if you're cruising with a baby or toddler, the fix is simple. Skip the main pool and head straight to the splash zone. Your child will have just as much fun, and you'll avoid becoming the unintended villain of someone else's vacation. And now, as we wrap up this list, there's one final rule that overrides them all, the one that doesn't involve swimwear, hygiene, or poolside behavior, but how you respond when a crew member tells you you've done something wrong. It was supposed to be a relaxing afternoon. A man floated in the main pool, sunglasses on, drink in hand, slowly drifting toward the edge. His cocktail glass sat comfortably on the pool's ledge. Not exactly secure, but close enough for a casual sip now and then. A nearby crew member approached politely and said, "Sir, drinks aren't allowed inside the pool." The man chuckled, lifted his glass in mock salute, and brushed it off with a quick, "Don't worry, I won't spill it." He assumed it was a friendly reminder, not a serious rule. What he didn't realize was that this wasn't a suggestion, it was a policy. 5 minutes later, a second crew member showed up, this time with security. The man was asked to step out of the pool. He protested, claimed he was being singled out, and began arguing. Moments later, he was officially warned, removed from the pool deck, and his name was logged in the ship's incident system. All over a drink he could have simply placed on a nearby table. This happens more often than you'd think, and it rarely ends well for the passenger. On a cruise ship, the cruise instructions are not optional. Every crew member on deck is trained to uphold maritime safety laws and enforce the cruise line's rules with precision. Whether it's asking you to exit the pool, remove glassware, change into proper swim attire, or stop diving, those requests carry legal weight. Ignoring them doesn't just create a tense moment. It creates a liability issue for the entire ship. Cruise lines run tight operations, and one guest's refusal to cooperate can ripple out fast, affecting staff protocols, delaying operations, or even triggering security intervention. And here's the part many guests forget. You're not in your hometown. You're on a floating city in international waters, where maritime law governs everything, and the captain has final authority over the entire ship. Unlike a land-based resort where you might get a second or third warning, cruise ships don't mess around. If you escalate a situation with a crew member, you may be banned from certain areas of the ship, face penalties like account holds or disembarkation at the next port, or in extreme cases, be permanently blacklisted from sailing with that cruise line again. It's not about being strict. It's about maintaining order and keeping thousands of people safe. The crew isn't trying to ruin your fun. They're trying to make sure everyone can enjoy their vacation without chaos or risk. When passengers push back, ignore safety instructions, or mock the rules, it doesn't just create a bad experience. It puts pressure on an entire system designed to protect everyone on board. The fix is as simple as it gets. Respect the crew and listen the first time. Even if the rule seems unnecessary or the timing feels inconvenient, it's better to comply and ask questions later than to push back and risk turning a small issue into a major disruption. Most crew members are happy to explain why a rule exists if you're polite and cooperative. And let's be honest, following the rules not only makes your cruise smoother, it earns you quiet respect from fellow guests who do notice when someone is acting entitled or disruptive. In the end, it's not just about avoiding punishment. It's about choosing the kind of traveler you want to be. Cruises are built on shared spaces, shared experiences, and mutual respect. And if you want smooth sailing from start to finish, the smartest thing you can do is simply follow the rules. Thanks for sticking with us through all 11 cruise pool rules. If you've made it this far, you're already ahead of 90% of passengers out there. From chair-saving chaos to diaper disasters, now you know exactly how to stay out of trouble and enjoy every second by the pool. If you want to cruise smarter and avoid more mistakes like these, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now. We've got more insider tips, cruise hacks, and travel traps in every video, and you definitely don't want to miss what's coming next. And before you go, share your experience in the comments. Have you ever seen one of these rules broken on board? Or maybe you've made one of these mistakes yourself. We read every comment, and your story might just help another cruiser avoid the same slip-up.